Right now at 6, neighbors in shock.
It's alarming. We could hear sirens all over town.
After sheriff's deputies shoot and kill a man they say threatened his own parents. Plus, funding cuts leave a tribal radio station fighting to stay on air.
Without the radio station, we might be more disconnected.
And later, chasing the high score.
Wow, we once spent 5 hours here without even knowing we spent 5 hours here.
Inside the local arcade, just named the best in the country. Thanks for joining us for the news at 6 live on KGW+. I'm Christine Pitawanich. We begin in Vancouver with an investigation into a Clark County Sheriff's deputy shooting and killing a man. The suspect, deputies say, was armed and threatening his own parents when they first encountered him. Celine Stevens is live where it happened. Celine, what more can you tell us?
Christine, well, the Clark County Sheriff's Office said that the parent of that man reported that their son was drunk, high, and threatening to kill them. They said that he broke into the home and was armed. Now that man is dead and the investigation is underway.
It's just heart-wrenching.
I feel bad. I mean, I really just had never even known.
Before 11 Wednesday night, the Clark County Sheriff's Office and the Vancouver Police Department responded to a report from a parent who said their son broke the front door of their home and was inside, threatening to kill them.
My bathroom window was open, so I could hear at that point some screaming, some loud yelling outside.
The parent told first responders their son had been drinking, was high on meth, and armed.
It's alarming. We could hear sirens all over town.
That man then left the home near East 27th and 8th Street, and then authorities spotted him in nearby Uptown, reporting he still had a gun on him. 10 minutes after the initial 911 call, the man was shot by a Clark County deputy.
But it doesn't feel like much happens out here in downtown Vancouver, at least on this scale.
Now, the Washington State Office of Independent Investigations is stepping in.
Our investigation determines the facts of the situation, and we're trying to find answers to the questions everyone has when something like this happens.
This is the third incident they've investigated in Clark County since December.
Clark County no longer has any involvement in the investigation. That's by design.
Neighbors telling me they heard some of it unfold.
He was saying, "Oh, you did this to me. Why did you do this to me?"
There was police activity. The lady that lives across the street, she was standing in the yard talking to the police officers. We could tell she was really upset.
And that this is usually a quiet neighborhood.
For the most part, I really enjoy living here and it's pretty safe.
According to KCSO, that deputy was placed on critical incident leave, which is standard in these kind of situations. The OII has 120 days to complete their investigation, and after that, all updates, and during this course of time, all updates will be coming from them. Christine?
Celine Stevens reporting live for us this evening from Vancouver. Thank you, Celine. Developing tonight, a grand jury has indicted a Gresham police officer on dozens of charges related to sexual conduct with an underage girl. Police arrested Hector Carranza this afternoon. He faces charges including rape, sex abuse, and using a child in display of sexually explicit conduct, among others. Carranza has been with Gresham Police since 2014 and is now on leave. Oregon State Police and the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office are investigating. In tonight's other headlines, Portland Mayor Keith Wilson is ordering city government to adjust its diversity, equity, and inclusion policies in response to Trump administration orders. The mayor says he's working to save $31 million in new federal grants and ensure the city complies with federal anti-discrimination laws, quote, as interpreted by the current federal judiciary. Wilson says most city programs and services can no longer give preference based on protected class status like race or gender. He warned losing federal grants would mean community groups lose funding. Portland's legal team says about 75 programs and policies need adjusting. The man Portland police say they arrested, then re-arrested the next day for lighting fires around the city, pleaded not guilty in court today. A judge ruled Aubrey Edwards will stay in custody as he faces 15 charges related to fires set over 2 weekends. He's accused of setting more fires yesterday, hours after he was released from jail. Investigators say he set cars, garbage cans, and mattresses on fire, damaging several blocks between North Portland and downtown. Police police want anyone with security or doorbell video of the fires to come forward. And a traffic stop on I-5 near Albany turned into a major drug bust. Look at that. An Oregon State trooper pulled a car over yesterday morning for multiple violations and uncovered a massive supply of drugs. We're talking 112 pounds of meth, over 5 pounds of cocaine, and more than 4 pounds of fentanyl. Troopers arrested 2 men who, according to the Oregon District Attorney's Office, have been unlawfully living in Washington. They're now in the Lynn County Jail, and the case is under investigation. To Polk County now, where the Sheriff's Office has ended its Marine Patrol program on the Willamette River after more than 30 years. The sheriff says a 30% cut in State Marine Board funding, totaling about $24,000, made it impossible to keep the program going.
You're looking at a small amount for, basically running a full-time person out here. Taking 3 deputies to make that one full-time person, that's not a realistic amount of money to deliver the product that they want us to deliver.
The Marion County Sheriff's Office just across the river will assume patrols, but their budget has also been cut, and they say service levels may not be as robust as before. Still, this dispatch center is the same, so if you call for help, someone will respond. Starting tomorrow, campfires will be banned on all land managed by the Bureau of Land Management in Northwest Oregon, all to reduce the risk of wildfires. The ban covers areas from Columbia County all the way down to northern Douglas County. Portable stoves, smoking, off-road driving, and electrical tools are also off limits. These rules are in addition to any fire restrictions already in place, so make sure to check what's allowed where you are. Matt?
All right, Christine, thank you very much. That's a good idea. We've got thunderstorms firing up across a good part of Oregon right now. Not in this view, looking south from our sky cam at Timberline Lodge up on Mount Hood. 63 degrees there, but when we look at Doppler radar, you see a lot of storms down south, nothing around northwest Oregon, but northeast Oregon has its handful right now. You see lots of storms here from Wallowa County down to Baker County. And in fact, this one near Cambridge to the south and east of Baker City and out towards Cambridge on the way over to Halfway. That has rainfall rates of nearly 6 inches an hour, and for that reason, there's a flash flood warning here. Now, the other reason is this is directly over the Durkee fire burn scar. That was a big fire last year. So heavy rain falling continuously over an area that doesn't have a lot of vegetation, steep terrain. You can get flash flooding easily along with debris flows and mudslides. So again, that goes until 8:15 tonight. Wouldn't be surprised if we see some more warnings issued, but otherwise, we've got flash flood watches out for a good part of eastern Oregon and over to central Oregon because of the thunderstorms that we are seeing right now. Also, over much of that same area, at least part of it, we've got fire weather warnings because of the lightning that we're getting, and lightning outside of where we're getting the heavy rain, and that is a concern for wildfire as well. So yeah, burn bans in effect. We're in the heart of fire season. Won't be ending anytime soon, but our weekend as we roll into August, Christine, is looking pretty good. I'll have that forecast for you in a bit.
Appreciate you keeping us in the know. Thanks, Matt. Now at 6 in Central Oregon, a tribal radio station is fighting to survive after losing nearly half of its funding through federal cuts. KWSO is the voice of Warm Springs, a place for music, news, and connection. For the community, there is a lot at stake. Evan Watson brings us their story.
KWSO HD1, Warm Springs.
This is KWSO News. I'm Samayakan Allen.
The Oregon Fish and Wildlife Commission is revisiting a 2023 agreement with the Grand Round Tribe concerning hunting and fishing rights across Northwest Oregon.
Broadcasting from a hill, high on the Warm Springs Reservation in Central Oregon, home to 3 confederated tribes.
We're a small station in a small place, a little off the beaten path.
The KWSO radio station airs free music and news every hour, every day.
We do our own local newscasts, and we can cover Warm Springs better than anybody.
Local reporters share what's happening in a community that can feel isolated.
That's who's doing recording language lessons. That's who's doing interviews with elders. In rural Oregon, and probably rural America, mainstream media doesn't necessarily show up unless something very bad has happened.
Sue Matters is the station manager.
We operate on about $600,000 a year is our full budget. And so, 40% of that would be CPB.
40% of the station's budget that's now gone. Congress voted to approve President Trump's request to claw back more than $1 billion for public broadcasting across the country. Money that helped fund stations like KWSO.
I don't think people hate public radio at all. And certainly we don't even hardly sound like public radio. It's the national political narrative.
The federal cuts threaten the jobs of 2 of the 6 KWSO employees. Matters says she's determined to save them, but the station will have to sacrifice.
We're going to have to move forward, and tribal people are kind of used to having to do that. Have you done the KWSO online survey yet?
On Thursdays at the Warm Springs Pavilion.
We've got some radishes, some carrots, some beets, and some fresh lettuce. It's free to take.
A community market offers the traditional and the unexpected.
We have some the single rifle cases, and then we have a double one.
This week, free gun safes, part of a violence prevention campaign.
So the safety is a big thing, especially for our Native people on our lands.
And the community radio station is there too.
Thank you.
Paige Hurtado works for a clean drinking water project in Warm Springs. He just ran a survey.
One of those questions was, how does the majority of people get their news sources? And the most popular answer was actually our local radio station. It's more than just like music, right? Like it's all of this like news and information in real time. And you start to take that away, then our community is going to continue to be crippled, disjointed, and lack access.
Caroline Cruz, a tribal leader, says the station has the community's trust.
We had the 2 major fires going on just this past weekend. We know if we tune in to KWSO, they're going to have the most up-to-date information.
For some, it's personal.
Because the local news, for one thing, it's home. They interviewed my dad a long time ago. So every once in a while on Veterans Day, I get to hear his voice. It means a lot.
Tribes, which include Warm Springs, Yakima Nation.
Without federal funding, Matters is determined to keep KWSO on the air.
100% we are going to continue to operate. It's just at what level.
She'll have to make cuts, and she expects to lose access to national news and tribal networks.
Native America Calling in National Native News, and those are programs that people here love and tune in for like every day at 10 o'clock.
Leaving the high desert at risk of becoming a news desert.
There'll be like a void where probably incorrect information will grow.
She says for the tribal-owned station, the challenge feels familiar.
It's like nothing new for Indian country. I mean, Indian country is usually the last people to get things from the federal government.
A fight for a radio station known as much for providing community updates.
Like when they do the news, it's our friend telling us the news.
As providing community tables at the Thursday market.
That's not going to stop us. I mean, as Indian people, we are very resilient. I mean, we just survive. We go on.
Evan Watson, KGW News.
The very real fallout from the federal government. Now to an international struggle. Portland-based Mercy Corps says it has more than 1,000 pallets of aid ready for Gaza, but it's still waiting on permission to deliver them. This comes as pressure increases on Israel to end a growing crisis by getting Palestinians in Gaza more food and other supplies. Our Tim Gordon joins us now with more on those efforts. Tim.
Yeah, Christine, Mercy Corps says food kits they've been trying to deliver have been sitting so long that some of it has expired now and they've been forced to throw it out. And that is certainly a shame as we see more and more images of starvation in Gaza. The pictures of emaciated children are heartbreaking, and that heartbreak is felt firsthand by some 30 Mercy Corps employees, all Palestinians, who live and work for the aid organization in the war-torn enclave. Mercy Corps says it has more than 1,300 pallets of aid sitting in Jordan and Egypt, ready to go to Gaza, but for months they have not been allowed to provide that aid to people suffering.
Unfortunately, the reality is that the vast majority of people in Gaza are not receiving help. 1 in 3 people are eating only about 1 meal every other day. So really, each morning, the same question for pretty much everyone in Gaza is, what will I eat today? This is really the culmination of almost 2 years of violence and privation, limited food and water, and we really are at a tipping point now in Gaza.
Crosby went on to say that from their perspective, this is not a logistics or a coordination problem. It is a political problem, and it's one that they say has Israel blocking aid and commercial goods to Gaza for the last several months. This week, there has been some movement by Israel to allow and deliver more help with airdrops of supplies and by pausing fighting in some areas of the Gaza Strip to facilitate aid delivery. Christine, back to you.
Hopefully that Mercy Corps aid gets the green light soon. Thank you, Tim.